How's it going, everybody? It's great to be alive. So, my name's Seneca, at least that's the given intellectual property name at birth. So, you can call me Seneca, but that's not the name I would prefer. I'm just playing. So, kind of. Most jokes are at least like 5% true. But, anywho, I started this idea called Life Rocks. Magical jewels and gemsicles or gemstones. Your choice. I kind of like things to be open for interpretation and kind of find their own way through. So we'll go with gemsicles as to be like funny and creative. But gemstones is pretty much what we call them too, right? What about great thoughts? Great thoughts. Are those not gems? Gems of ideas. Gems of gnosis. So, anywho, to humble myself back down to reality. My daughter, right? I have a daughter. She's amazing. I teach her everything that's true. And one of the things I've always done was look at her and tried to take a step back and figure out any way I could to empower her, you know? And so I told her the truth of everything, even if it was scary. Well, she's a genius now, at least in my perspective of what a genius is. And if I ask her questions and say, without any interference at all, what do you believe? They're pretty profound beliefs. For a 10-year-old little girl, she believes that this is all just a simulation, that we're all just here to learn, and this is not exactly our permanent home, that we're just here for this place and as a test. And if you're good, then, you have good karma. And if you're bad, then you have bad karma. And those frequencies stay within you. And I was just like, I'm so proud of you. And, once you have a child that is that aware, as much as she can look at life and say, anybody can look at her and say, like, wow, dude, that's that's harsh, Nothing's gonna get over on her, right? Anywho, I tell her all the time to follow her dreams. I'm a musician. That's like if I could follow all my dreams and say that I was gonna be anything, that's what it would have been, was a successful musician. And I'm not gonna get into the depths of that, but she was like, why don't you follow your dreams, Daddy? Like, what are you doing? And I kept making all these sacrifices for her, and I realized that the more that I'm making these sacrifices that seem to be for her, they're not. They're sacrificing who I am, which is like the best of me, which is also her, in a masculine form, right? So I realized I succeeded as a father in the spiritual realm, support, love, inspirations, all those things. It was like living up to my own standard. So she encouraged me. She's like, if you don't like it here, then leave, And as hard as that was to like understand, on one hand, my baby girl is basically being more mature than me and trying to tell me to like let go, just let go. I'm not going anywhere, And so I did, and then I thought, things would just naturally fall into place. I would follow my dreams and all these things, and that's not what happened. But so I made decisions, strangely enough, that led me into other spiritual cycles of my journey, between, relationships or whatever, and then learning from those relationships how to let go. And this brought me closer to God. And at first it was, I'd be getting handed all these stones all the time and crystals. And I've always loved crystals. I've thought that crystals were always, definitely spiritual. There's a link actually to my life between, I got a call from my father. He like took off when I was 2, right? And I never heard from him. And then I think I was like 6 or whatever. We get a call from me and my brother, and he says he's going to send some crystals down that heal us. And I'm still, me and my brother, we laughed like recently. I'm still that little kid waiting for that crystal. Unbelievable. I got all these crystals now. It's hilarious. This is a beautiful piece of citrine. But anywho, uh, so there's been a lot of pain in my life, and then trying to get over it a lot, not realizing that these crystals are kind of communicating to me through God, and like it's really deep, right? It really is. So maybe not, but to me it feels deep because at first I'm like thinking, well, how do I repair myself to get to my back to where I was, right? Maybe if I heal specifics of myself, I can get back to where I was and have like better relationships, get married again. It'll be better relationship than my last one or whatever, the one that I fell in love with or whatever. And no, that's not what happened. And so the more that I would get these crystals and stuff, I at first didn't realize that there was a metaphysical meaning of them, and I had pockets full of rocks, just pockets full of rocks. And then eventually I started to realize like it would be amazing to wear these things, and it brought me back towards the Native American culture within my own heritage and my own self of family. And based off those variables, I decided that it would be amazing to make these things, but not for myself, for other people. Like it would be amazing if I could share the same experiences that I've been going through on the journey and provide metaphysical crystals for people as they evolve on their consciousness and their journey. So it was like people were giving me these stones, and at first I didn't know anything. And then, like, here's one of them right here. This is one of the first ones, lepidolite, but this is actually tumbled lepidolite, right? Here's some raw lepidolite. I got some bigger chunks, but this is still a nice piece. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it. I'm either going to make a tree of life on it or really deck it out and do something sexy with it. But I let the stones wrap themselves, actually. I just recently did this one. So, and believe it or not, sterling silver and copper have metaphysical properties within them too. This is the most recent one. And believe it or not, this one took like 2 days. So that's, some days you're like, wow. And it may not look like there's a lot in there, but there's a lot going on to them. So anywho, there's a lot of magic and a lot of energy and a lot of intention put into these things that then are hoping that they find their true owner of who needs them the most. And so I ended up really finding a passion towards it. And then one of my friends, I'm an individualist, a 4 on the Enneagram. I am an individualist and a hopeless romantic, which I discovered inside myself last night in my deep sleep. But anywho, that's another story for another day. So I then turned around and I started to, so my buddy, he did this for a living, okay? But he, during the crisis of COVID-19 in 2020, in midsummer, June or July or whatever, he ended up taking his own life. So, and being an individualist, you kind of look at people and say, well, that's your thing, and I don't want to do that. Well, this kind of really just fell in my lap. I met somebody, I said that this is what I was thinking about doing. Next, I met somebody, they had all the tools in the wire. They were like, here, let me show you. And I said, if God wants me to do this, or this is something I'm supposed to do, I'm going to find my own way. So without any lessons or anything, I wrapped my first one, and she bought that right away. And then I made this one, actually, this one right here. And my family relative was like in total doubts. And I decided to keep this as beautiful as it was, and was like thinking to sell. At first, I thought no one would want it. So I decided I'll keep it. Then I made this one right here. And then I looked up what this one really meant for the metaphysical properties. And for a Scorpio, it helps with any kind of psychological protection, spiritual protection of the psyche. And I have a Scorpio moon, Scorpio midheaven, my Pluto, my Saturn. All these are in Scorpio, I believe 9th house. So right away I was like, you know what? I feel like I just made this for myself. And then I then started making more, and without, too much confidence, I started making a bunch of them, and then I would go places and, tell people what I'm doing, and they'd be like, "Oh my God, dude, you're totally shooting yourself in the foot. These are beautiful and amazing." And, um, I would ask for like, $30, and they would throw 40 at me, tell me it's worth 50, but they're taking 10 off because of the advice. And I'm like, wow. And all these things started happening. So to me, it's not about the money. It's about doing what you love to do, allowing things to just kind of unfold. And now it's just developing the foundation of it. Always thinking about Chimera all the time. That's my daughter's name. I love her so much. Um, so between this and doing what I love to do, creating these for people on their journey, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. So here we go. This is like pretty much my inventory that I've been working on and building. So once they're all truly advertised, I can keep building and keep being able to distribute. And that's the plan. This is a jasper. These were found on in Machias. This is actually a black and white beach stone from Kennebunk on the port out there. Jasper. And this is actually jasper rhyolite too, which was volcanic rock that comes from Native American territories, so up in Penobscot. And so these are going to be a certain collection that are available for masculine and feminine. I like this one. This is big. It's good for, like, I can see it on a big guy, But anywho, these are more, these are all really precious either way. And I am going to start doing bracelets and stuff. I've done regular beaded stuff before too, and then I had a setback, but that doesn't really matter. These are all learning experiences and to test the self and who you are. But these are the newest pieces that I have as I create these products for the journey, for people as they evolve themselves. And I've got books on metaphysical stones that you research 24/7, and am always furthering my education on the stones and what they do as far as their healing properties. I could spend all day educating people. The truth is that they, I believe, want to hear a story, a sentiment behind it, where it come from, what is the meaning behind it. And these are the things that I think resonate with people deep within their soul, that then make people, feel more connected to it. You get a store, somebody walks in, it's personal, sentiment. You're on the internet, is it really that personal? Is it really that sentimental? You're having a one-on-one conversation with somebody. So that's the trick. I used to have a radio show. It was to bring someone into a different perspective of being a part of a listening perspective. How can I make this adventurous and exciting for someone, like they're on a journey and they're not just listening to someone talk for 2 hours? So I created it as a journey, exciting. And that's kind of how I would like to do this too. Bring a really personal presence online. You're dealing with a real human being that's dealing with real human beings, real divine spiritual human beings. It's not about me. And as much as I can be about me, and that's what it always is, the truth is that I'm just helping out myself by helping out other people. That's what I see. I love these epidotes. These right here are actually great for breaking any kind of patterns and behaviors that you might be stuck in, routines, hanging around the same people, same systematic beliefs. These ones are about to get built. Love them. I just love this. And so, yeah, I feel like it's a calling, and it kind of fell into my lap. And while I do the music and writing and other stuff, this is Life Rocks, because it really does. It's such a gift. That's another thing, is it helps you remember that it's the simplicity of life that is so amazing. Well, I'm going to go ahead and let you guys go. If you viewed this and found it entertaining and awesome, please share, hit the thumbs up, like, do whatever, we know to do. And thanks for everything. And I love you guys. Take care.